Everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. Okay. All right. It's Kerry here, of course, and I am, it's Tuesday morning. So I will wait and see. I'm in a different place at the moment. I'm at my parents' house. I'm hoping you can hear me all right and there's not too much background noise. It is raining here, and they're right on the highway, so hopefully the sound will be okay. I'm just going to check that I am going live in Facebook, no problem. Oh, I can see some viewers coming, so it must be coming through. So yeah, let me know if you can hear me okay. Like I said, I'm on my laptop. I'm at my mum and dad's house, and I'm outside. Believe it or not, they have a china cabinet thing outside, but that's them. They're a bit quirky. So yeah, so let me know in the comments. Hi Karen, hopefully you can hear me. Like I was saying, there's quite a bit of background noise here. I do have headphones and a mic thing if it's a bit hard to hear, so I can plug them in and see if that helps. But this laptop's usually pretty good. All right. Yep, awesome, great, thank you. So today's art chat, oh, hi Holly as well. All right, we're back on that Restream, which is the new streaming program, so you'll have to bear with me. Hopefully I can operate it all right again. Hi Susan as well. All right, so today I thought we could have a chat about a really amazing painter. His name's Michael McWilliams. He's a Tasmanian artist, and we were lucky when we were at the art retreat in Tasmania to go down. This exhibition is on at the Queen Victoria. What is it called? It's the QVMAG, Queen Victoria something art gallery, and I'll share some photos and stuff soon. But Michael, they've got a exhibition on there, so we were lucky enough that it was on while we were down in Launceston, and it's on till mid-May or the end of May. So if you're down that way, definitely go and check it out. It is absolutely amazing, and yeah, just so inspiring. Hi Andrea and Cynthia. And yeah, I was in awe. I actually went and saw it twice and just absolutely loved it. I even bought a souvenir, a little bag here with one of his artworks on it, and I just love his art. It's so cool. And they actually had little activity books, which I thought was a great little merchandise thing or marketing, but I mean, not merch, I suppose, because they were free. But again, a little activity book for the kids, which was lovely, and it's something you can take away, and that. So, he's just. Oh, Donna, yeah, love his work. Took my husband to see it. Oh, you went and took your husband. Well done. Yes, you can watch from Instagram and Facebook, Odette. I'm getting a bit tech. I'm a tech wizard. So that's it. I'm glad it's working on Instagram. So this is the first time I've managed to get that happening. Hi, Leslie, as well. All right. So yeah, I mean, honestly, have you ever come across an artist whose work it instantly pulls you in? Not just with the skill, but like, I don't know, the magic, the emotion. That's sort of how I felt the first time. You sort of, it's the first time I'd actually discovered his work. I do feel like I may have seen it before. Apparently he did win the Glover Prize many years ago. But it's so original, his work. So whenever I would see a painting of his, I'd probably instantly go, oh, that's a Michael McWilliams, because it's so distinctive. But I don't know, I just walked into the gallery and just went, wow. And it's just like, you just sort of look around and think, oh my God, this is amazing. And I felt that way with the Glover Prize last year, and this year when we went to this gallery in Launceston, it was the same. It's just you could spend hours in there. So hi Elaine and Kath. Paracombe. Okay, Bev's on too. Cool. So yeah, so I don't know if you've ever experienced an artist's work or an exhibition like that, but it's quite amazing when you do. So there was another exhibition on in Launceston in a small gallery featuring, it was all Salvador Dali's work. And, you know, I know he's famous and all, but it's not my cup of tea. So that was like, oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. It's cool that I got to see that, but it was like, you know, whereas this one was amazing. Marianne's on as well, which is awesome. So yeah, let me know if you've ever experienced that. I know those ladies that were with me in Tasmania felt the same way. Every single one of us was just blown away. And there's actually, I saw a comment here. I don't know this lady. It was on a social media post, but what she wrote, I thought is so true. She wrote, "There's really no words to describe how beautiful this exhibition is, and the way it's been hung is breathtaking." And that is something else we commented on. It's not only beautiful art, it's statements about invasion, forest destruction, and rubbish in our oceans. It really is the best exhibition I've seen in my life. Thank you, Michael McWilliams. So yeah, and that was so, that resonated. It was exactly how I would describe it as well. So so there's sort of, his work is, I'll share work as well. But they're kind of a dreamy, whimsical type of painting, but they fuse like the natural world with some surreal elements as well, I suppose. They're quite peaceful. They're imaginative. Like, you sort of think, "Wow, how did you think of that?" But I also loved like the messages he puts in them. So they're always filled with animals and trees, and chairs were in some as well. And like unexpected little things in there. Like there's one of deforestation with an umbrella in them. So I'll see if I've got it when I share it. But the message in that is the umbrella is trying to protect the soil because they've cut all the trees down, like to protect the soil from washing away in the rain. So his paintings are beautiful to look at, but there's a lot of story to them as well, which is just amazing. And it's sort of like, I've got this quote here. It says, "It's a calmness that feels like stepping into a dream you never want to leave." So yeah, it was cool. Yeah, Jennifer, I think they're like Jason Morgan, Robert Bateman. Yeah, they're great artists, but I think it's more talking. I'm talking more about, have you been to an exhibition, like walked into a gallery that is just full of that artist's paintings? So seeing them in life and being surrounded by them is more what I'm sort of wondering if anyone has gone in and just been wow. Whereas not so much. I know, like, yeah, the ones you mentioned are great painters, of course, but seeing them online and then walking into a gallery and sort of being surrounded by them, it's quite amazing. So yeah, so Michael is nice on the eyes as well. Okay, so Michael's one of Australia's most successful and widely recognised artists. He's like, he paints. He lives in, I think he's from Victoria, but he lives in Tasmania now, and he lives on a farm, so he paints a lot of sheep as well, which is close to my heart. And so they sort of his paintings show like great affection for those subjects, because you can tell he really loves them. He features like which is now extinct, the Tasmanian tiger features a lot in his work. Tassie devils, quolls, and then they're sort of put alongside domestic animals, dogs, cats, livestock like sheep and cattle feature a lot in his work as well. But then when he's telling a story, he then puts like invasive species, like foxes and things like that as well. So yeah, it's very cool, his work. Like you can just see it's all out of his own head, which is brilliant. And like he doesn't really try to impress with sort of flashy techniques or complex compositions. It's just him. His own voice is coming through like loud and strong. So and yeah, you can tell. I think he's like, they're not. I wouldn't say they're technically perfect in realism or anything. They are a bit whimsical, but yeah, he's just what he conveys. That he paints with a tiny brush. I think you can tell him. I feel like when we walked in, I did mention to some ladies, I feel like he may have been an architect or something. So he's so precise with everything. But yeah, I'll share his work so you can really see what I'm talking about. But I think he's so inspiring because it does give you sort of permission to experiment and still be able to use your imagination. Doesn't matter if the animal's not depicted exactly perfectly, even though, I mean, he's a pretty bloody good. But just getting that story. Once again, we always sort of mention that story is so important. And I think also those conservation messages that he has in his work, it's quite gentle, but it's really powerful. So let me share my screen. Hold on, I've got to figure out how to do this. Let me go here, here, here. Share. Yes. Okay, I'm going to try. And okay, let me just try and find a couple of pictures. Okay, this is Michael here. But you see, it's that he paints quite large, and this tiny little paintbrush made me laugh how small it is. But when you actually see his work in detail, like when you see the scale of them, the details he has to paint with a tiny brush. So and this is Michael here as well. But we'll go through some of these photos. This is inside the gallery. So this was one section. It's in 2 rooms, and the gallery curators that hang the work, wow, like they just did the most amazing job. This is only a section of this wall. The wall goes the whole way along, and you just walk in and like it's just paintings everywhere. So and then there's a second section of the gallery as well, which has all of these artwork spotlighted. So yeah, that just, I think the way a gallery hangs your work too, the way their lighting was, the lighting was, I don't think I've got a photo of the lighting, but it was just on individual paintings in the other section, and it just really made the paintings pop as well. So so he is like, it's typical, very Australian. He always features, like, of course we've got the emus here, but randomness, like having emus with the lady on the horse. This one is quite has quite a strong message in it. I think these are animals featured here that either, like, you've got your Tasmanian tiger, of course, which is extinct. It's got the plane flying through, dropping chemicals all over the forest. There's usually there's a story, an artist statement that goes along with them. The bucket on the head, saying that humans aren't seeing it like us as the general public, uh, you know, like living with our eyes closed, essentially. We've got a bucket on our head. Um, I don't. I'm not sure whether that's a salmon that he's holding, but in Tasmania, there's a huge problem with salmon. Um, and then of course tigers and endangered, all the rest of it. So um, that one I suppose is a little bit more in your face than what some of his conservation ones are. This one is just gorgeous. This is the one I really loved. And I suppose there's probably not, I don't think there's a conservation message in this one. He does a lot of repeating the animal in, so he'll do a landscape and then he'll have the same animal just sitting all over it everywhere. So they're just, like I said, they're kind of a bit surreal, a bit whimsical. There is realism there, but it's not like hyper real. And he always has the animals looking at the viewer as well, which I think is quite cool too. Oh, that's him again. That's him. This is the Tassie tiger again. Deforestation, as always. This painting in real life is really stunning with these birds, the parrots, the only really colour on the whole painting, and it's quite a large piece, and they really pop. And then of course some of his paintings, like these ones, he'll have little hidden animals, so you'll sit and stare at it for ages, and then you'll see, oh wow, there was one like this and it had a little lobster in it, like a lizard, a little quoll. There's all, the more you stare at it, the more things you see. It's really cool how he does that as well. And again, I suppose it's all about keeping that viewer attention. I don't have the names of these paintings, but usually the names of the paintings sort of tell a bit of the story as well, which again is something else I always sort of mention. Maybe we need to put some thought into naming our paintings. So yeah, I'm not sure what the meaning of this one was. There's just sheep everywhere flying around. We've already seen that one. Cows swimming. Again, there's probably a story and a thought behind. There could always be a deeper meaning to some of these works, but just the imagination and be able to take it wherever you want. Would you ever think of putting, instead of turtles in the ocean, some cows? And this is what I think I really love about his work. Now this one, wait on. Oh, I have got the names. This one back here is called A Pointed Reminder. So that obviously features the Tasmanian tiger, which of course is extinct. And obviously some of those others would be as well. This one is called Beef and Reef. So he's quite humorous too. This one is called Escaping the Roast. So this was actually there, and it's huge, this painting. And the fire, it's just so bright and vivid. It really made you sort of feel like it was there in front of you. And they had this a triptych, I suppose. They were separate paintings, but the first one was what was it? I think the first one was of all kangaroos just in the forest, in the grass and that. And then the second one was this, where it's burning. And then the third one was a burnt forest with cattle all through it. Because a lot of people, farmers I know up my way, they burn all the time. And because the cattle love the new grass that comes through once you burn, I don't believe in it. I don't think it's a good practice. Maybe every now and again it needs doing, but you know, I have farmers around me that burn every year religiously all their paddocks, and yeah, they think it's great because it's bringing that charcoal and that into the soil, which is good. But I think they can do it too often. But again, you know, there's all a conservation message subtly in the works. This one is called the green room. I'm not really sure what message that is meaning, but I'm sure there is one. Yeah, Vivian, he has got the pointed grass tussocks across a lot of the paintings. Yeah, we noticed that in the exhibition. They feature a lot, and when you're driving around Tasmania, you do notice those. They're very typical of the area. This one again, very whimsical, is crafted off a famous painting of Venus, of course, but he's put pugs everywhere. I get a feeling he has got pugs in quite a few of his paintings, so I have a feeling he must own a pug or love, like they're his pet of choice. Mixed lamb with vegetables. So I don't know why we've got a food thing going on here. This one was there as well. This was cool. Pale Companions. And yeah, it's just, I was looking at it and I thought, I feel like, you know, all of these animals that are depicted in this could be, there are white versions of these animals. So whether that's sort of the theme that he has just gone with animals that are found, that can be found white, like there's variations of them. What's it called? Yeah, just Pale Companions. This one, Rainforest Dancer. I don't think this one actually had any animals in it. This was there as well, and this is one, it's hard to tell on the screen, of course. He uses oils, Susan. Yeah, they're oils. But this one, the tiny, tiny details of every little bit of grass, every little bit of dirt, every bit of like the lichen and that of the tree, the moss. This was one of the ones, like it was a huge painting, and you could tell he just uses a very tiny brush. And the detail, that's what made me think he must have been an architect in his previous life, maybe. But I feel like he's been painting his whole life. So it's just his style. Again, he's a pug. Like I said, I feel like he has a love for pugs. And what's this one? White Invaders. So again, maybe he looks at livestock as invaders, not so much the animals at fault here, but I suppose the humans for cutting everything down for the livestock, because of course forests, we can't have you can't grow grass with too many trees, so they they chop down the forests, of course, to get more paddocks. Oh, it has an animal in front of it. I'm just reading comments. Amazing artwork. Hold on, I'm just got to find where my notes went. So this exhibition, the QVMA exhibition, it was quite interesting to read about it, which I've shared a link in here that you can go and read a bit more about it. I was going to share a little video on, hoping I can get the sound to work, but it featured 100 of his works. So he's actually painted well over 2,000 pieces in his time, and they had to track down as many as they could. So they ended up getting 100. So they approached him and said, we'd like to do a full exhibition on you and your artwork. And of course he said, yeah, go for it. So, and they then had to, I think they said that it took them 2 years to track down the work for it, and they managed to get 100 pieces. But he's such a prolific painter. And if you like, when you sell through a gallery, which he obviously does quite a lot, the galleries don't give you, if someone buys a painting, the gallery won't share with you the customer's details, because they don't want you to then bypass them. That's their customer. They don't want you to bypass and sell direct, because then they miss their commission, of course. So when you sell art through a gallery, you have no idea who has bought it. Okay, so you have no records. So you can imagine it's quite a big process for them to come up with these, to find the works to put in there. So I'm sure Michael would have sold some privately, so he may have had some connecting details for customers, but they then had to approach all the galleries that he sold work to and see if they could then contact the customers and then get permission. Of course, some people would say no. Others, apparently, I think they said about 80% that they contacted were, yes, we'd love to lend you our painting to put in the gallery, into the exhibition. So yeah, you can imagine it was a big job for them to bring it all together. And that Michael said in one of his interviews I watched that he said it was amazing because it was like seeing old friends, because he hadn't seen some of these paintings for years himself. So I'm going to have a go at this. I don't know if I can get the noise to share, but share audio. I'm going to try and make that bigger.
It was immense, exciting, overwhelming, intimidating. Where are these artworks? Who has these artworks? How can we get these artworks? It becomes a bit of a chase, if you will.
How do you exhibit the life's work of an artist when you don't know where the art is? This was the dilemma facing Shane Fitzgerald and his team of curators at the Queen Victoria Museum and Art Gallery in Launceston a couple of years ago. They'd decided to display a summary of the life's work of Tasmanian artist Michael McWilliams, who's still alive, by the way, and this presented a challenge for more than one reason.
The first thing is, where are they? He's a very prolific painter and he's produced well over 2,000 works throughout his 34-year career. The majority of his works are held in private collections, so that became a bit of a needle in a haystack.
I didn't really think about it until the QV mag asked me to be part of this show, and I looked at all the work I'd done and realised, oh, I have done a lot.
In starting to track down all these works, the curatorial team worked with Michael and his partner Robert to gather all the information they could about the paintings and where they might be. They also contacted galleries and auction houses across the country to get clues on the location of private collections with McWilliams paintings.
It is quite fun. There are those heightened moments when you find a work that you've been looking for and you've had no luck and suddenly it appears. That is quite an amazing feeling for everyone.
After 2 long years of super sleuthing and painting pickups, the gallery team had tracked down an incredible collection of works to put on show. But launch day was fast approaching and the work wasn't done yet.
As the time got closer, I did think that they wouldn't get it all together. And the time was put off a little bit. The date did change, but then it was set.
It went right down to the wire with locating works, and we had surprise works reveal themselves literally a week out. Thankfully for us, they were in Hobart, so we were able to drop everything and get them up whilst we're installing the show.
And they pulled it off.
The launch went ahead as planned and was packed with enthusiastic art lovers. So it was mission accomplished for the gallery team, who were feeling
fantastic. Everyone made it happen, and it is something that I encourage everyone to come and see the outcome of.
I think they've done an incredible job. Seeing the paintings again is amazing. I mean, they are like lost friends, and to see them again, it's like a bit of a reunion. Amazing, really.
Yeah, so hopefully that worked. Donna said the audio worked. But yeah, it's such an amazing thing to put all that together. So, and yeah, like I said, it's still on till May. So if you've down that way, definitely go and check it out. But yeah, I'd encourage anyone to go, if they know of an artist they really love, go and they've got an exhibition, try and get to it, definitely, because yeah, there's just some you walk into and go, wow. So I suppose some lessons here that we could learn from Michael, because we're animal painters, of course, and we like our realism. So sometimes I think we can get a little bit caught up in the realism. So your art doesn't need to be perfect. You know, it just needs to make someone feel something. And the feedback, of course, just from us lot in there was like amazing. And even those, I know some of you guys did take your husbands and stuff in there who probably aren't that into art, but they would have still loved it. So Jennifer, you've been to exhibition of Bateman, Trisha and Thomas Kincaid. They blew my mind. Yeah, that's the feeling, Jennifer. I was saying to see them is just spectacular. Okay, another lesson would be imagination is as valid as observation. So whether you paint from a reference or from your dreams, both are beautiful, of course. And I suppose the more you get better at drawing and sketching and that, the more your art will be more realistic, of course. But you know, you don't have to be stuck on that. And you can also, there was one there, and a lot of his, I've noticed, when he uses repetitive animals. All his sheep are always side on and looking at you, which I always think is quite funny. But he had one of a plover, which is a bird here. And I was saying to Odette, actually, I said, I think you can see he's just taken lots of photos of plovers in different positions and just plonked them all around on the piece. And then he had one really large in the front. So it's something that even if your actual drawing skills aren't brilliant and you do need to use your line art, you can definitely make this sort of stuff up and be very imaginative and creative with the same process that we do a lot, and that is using your own reference photos. So take lots of photos and you know, do your line art and position them all around and just totally create your painting from scratch. And it doesn't have to be a realistic scene. It can be just a scene. I mean, look at the cows swimming in the water. You know, it can be a scene totally out of your head. And I think that's what really struck me. So you love plovers. Oh, you've got plovers over there too. I don't know. The plovers here attack you. Everything attacks you here. So if they're nesting, they sort of nest on the ground. And if you go within, I don't know, 50 meters of their nest, they'll start swooping you just like a magpie. But magpies will hit you with their beak. Plovers have tips like spikes on their wings, and they'll try and whack you with their wing. But here's a little fact. If you stand still, a plover won't actually hit you, because you can imagine if they do hit you, they have a big chance of breaking their wing. So if you stand still, they won't. Don't do that for a magpie though, because they will. They will draw blood. Yeah, can be very protective of the young during breeding system. Oh yeah. Anyway, but they're still beautiful. I love them all. So also, your personal voice is powerful. So when you embrace your quirks, your stories, and in your inner world, sort of it makes your art stand out. Okay, so try and be a little bit different, I suppose. Don't worry about what everyone else is painting. Start to think about what you love and And yeah, your quirks. I mean, look at who's Odette's got the pencil case. The famous Japanese artist, is she? That does dots everywhere. I can't think of her name, but someone will. Is it Yumo? I can't remember. Odette will help me out here. Who's the Japanese artist your pencil case is from? But she just does dots everywhere. Like big one. Her stuff's pretty cool. Her colors are the thing, though, I think, with her. But yeah, I mean, that's what she loves to paint. So she's made plenty of money with it too. And also, I suppose Michael reminds us that nature is enough. The quiet magic of a tree or a bird, or even shadows. I love shadows, as everyone probably knows. I'm usually trying to get, people say take photos in the golden hour, whereas I really love, midday sun where it's casting shadows everywhere. So, there we go. Yui Kasama. That's it. Thanks, Odette. No worries, Elaine. You can leave. So, yeah, so there's sort of lessons to learn. And I suppose I'm, myself, I'm trying to, I think once you master realism and get good at it, then you can experiment a little bit more and loosen your style up a little bit. But I'm not that his style is loose in any means, but I think with me I want to try and be more imaginative, I suppose. So because we work from reference images a lot, rather than when I'm taking reference images for a painting, I usually have in mind the painting I'm thinking of. Although a lot of times I start to think while I'm taking the photo, and I try and position the photo so it will look good, like composition-wise, and then I work entirely from the photo. Whereas I think what I would like to do is try and be more imaginative with that, and maybe just take elements of a photo and combine it with other elements and create something that, may not be completely realistic, but so I'm still using my photo references and my ideas, but the photo doesn't have to be the finished piece, if you know what I mean. I'm very focused on trying to get the perfect photo that I can do a full painting from. But I think, maybe trying to think a bit more imaginatively and think, oh, well, maybe I could throw a sheep here or, do something else there, add some different elements that aren't quite what I'm seeing through the lens. So, things to think about. And I also, I think the conservation message in his work really, I like that some of it's very in your face, but a lot of it's quite subtle, and I really do like that as well. So take a few minutes and Google him. I'm not going to bother sharing his website because it's not very good, actually. There's not really much on there at all. You're better off just Googling Michael McWilliams artist, and just have a look and see if you can find some more videos on him. Have a look at his work closer, like zoom up on it, and the details are amazing. And then maybe have a think to yourself. It doesn't even have to be Michael's work. Maybe just search for some of your own famous favorite artists as well, and just rather than just look, actually start to sort of decipher it and think maybe what kind of art really lights you up. Some people might walk into that exhibition and not be inspired because that might not be their thing. Whereas for me, it was like, oh my God, it's amazing. So that lights me up. So I suppose starting to know what other art styles do light you up is how you can start to think what would, be inspiring to you to paint. Because, that's the best way to be inspired, of course, with your own art is to be painting what you love. Okay, so not paint sort of things that not really, you're just doing it because you think you should, or you're doing it because you think that's where, you know, the public want and you can sell your work better. You're better off to paint for you and what inspires you. And think, what would I create if I wasn't trying to get it right? You know, that's something as well. We're always trying to do the perfect painting, but maybe if we eased up on ourselves and didn't worry too much about getting it right, what would we paint? But yeah, so that's sort of everything I wanted to show you with Michael's work. And like I said, hopefully it inspires you as much as it inspires me. And but if you can't get to that gallery, which of course you can only do that if you're in Tasmania, go on, research, see if there's any other great artists that you think. Just see what exhibitions are on, I suppose, at your local galleries, and go and check them out. You might discover someone else absolutely amazing. What have we got? Viv, her name was in a quiz did on the weekend. I knew the artist, but not her name. Oh, yeah, Viv, right, yeah, the cat and mouse peeking through the cardboard was a cool example. Yeah, who was that? I can't remember now. Someone shared an artwork in one of our groups, and it looked like a cardboard box was torn open with holes, and she had a cat's head sort of peeking out, looking up at a mouse up the top. So again, that's a bit whimsical, a bit imaginative, different. They're the sort of things, it makes people think and talk. And again, we always come back to a story, don't we? And that's the key, of course. And I think we all have our own story. We all have our own unique views and ideas, and they could be the same, similar to others, but the way we tell it would be different. And really start to look into yourself of what you love, what you want to paint. For me, I do a lot of the Fraser Island dingoes, and I love the beach and all of that. But I really do love my sheep and farm animals as well. So that could be a direction I think I would like to also go to. But it could be birds. Like, you might absolutely love birds. So, and I think, if we're painting what we love, then you're never really going to lose that inspiration, are you? And especially if it's our own. I think also when we're using reference images, sometimes you have to, of course. But when we're using copyright free, always, you might love it, but it's not coming from you totally, is it? So I think it's a little bit different when it's totally your idea and your imagination. You're going to be a bit more motivated, I suppose, to paint it. Oh, okay, it was at the Royal Easter Show, right? Debbie posted it. All right. Okay, good. I never shared any of your comments on this today, but I've read them out, so that was great. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. What's Odette got? I'll share Odette's comment because it's fun to do this. I used to do that digitally, torn box and people peeking through it. Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, when I did see it, it was cool. It was a great thing. But yeah, I thought I'd seen stuff before like that. So yeah. But yeah, you could put different. I know there's another artist. Can't remember his name now. He did one with a torn little mouse. He does a lot. Can't remember his name. Of nearly a blank canvas, but he has then a really realistic little animal or something on it. And he's got a bird box series with all different bird houses, or a birdhouse series, and different little birds poking out of the birdhouse. It's pretty cool. I cannot think of names today. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you once again for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this little chat. Next week I think we're gonna dive a bit deeper into sort of doing paintings from your imagination and stuff. I think I can't remember what I have planned now, but it kind of went with Michael's work sort of thing. How we can dive a bit deeper into painting like that. So, all right, I will see you all next week, and those in my membership, the Creative Barn. Don't forget, up the top there is a link. If you're not in the Creative Barn, I do have a 7-day free trial. If you want to check out some of the tutorials, so you can click on that. And yeah, those in my premium tier, I'll probably see some of you guys tomorrow for our creative play. All right. Oh, and also we've got another draw along as well tomorrow night. Anyway, all right. Thanks, guys, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.